Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this absolutely gorgeous scarf. It's a very easy one row repeat and we're going to be using the bean stitch. It couldn't be simpler, so let's just jump straight on in. For my scarf I used 2 balls of the Scarfie Lite yarn by Lion brand in the colourway SeaGlass with a 6mm crochet hook. You can of course use any yarn and any hook size for this pattern that you so wish. To begin, pop a slip knot onto your hook. Now we're going to be working the bean stitch for this scarf. The pattern multiple for the bean stitch is simply any odd number. So you can go ahead and chain any odd number for the width that you want your scarf to be. For my scarf in particular, I chained 21. To work your bean stitches, we're going to start by working into the 3rd chain from your hook. Now, this loop on your hook does not count as anything. You only want to count these fully formed chains hanging down below. So 1, 2, 3. I also like to work into the bottom part of the chain for the bean stitch, but that's entirely optional. You go ahead and use whichever part of the chain you find easiest to work into. So to begin our very first bean, I'm going to insert my hook into the chain. Then draw up a loop, yarn over, go back into the same chain, draw up a loop, and then one more time, yarn over, go into the chain and draw up a loop. You will have 6 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then yarn over and draw through all 6 loops. You might want to rotate your hook down so it doesn't get caught on the way through. And then chain 1 to secure that little bean stitch. You'll have a cute little slim puff. Now skip a chain and we're going to work a bean stitch into the very next chain. So insert your hook into the chain and draw up a loop. Then yarn over, go back into that chain, draw up another loop, then one more time, yarn over into the chain and draw up a loop. Once you have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through all 6 loops, and then chain 1 to finish your bean stitch. We're going to work this all the way down the chain. Skip a chain and work a bean stitch into the next. Don't forget the chain 1, which secures your bean stitch, is all part of the same stitch. Skip a chain, bean stitch in the next. This first row is the fiddliest. After this, it gets really, really quick and easy. So keep going, working your way down the chain. Skip a chain, bean stitch in the next. Skip a chain, bean stitch in the next. Once you've completed your first row, just make a quick note of how many of these bean stitches you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just make a mental note of that number, because for every subsequent row, we're going to make the same number of bean stitches. So for me, that would be 10. 10 bean stitches for every row. It's worth just hanging on to that little tiny snippet because it's a good way to check that you're on track and you're not skipping any beans in further rows. So row two is the pattern repeat row. All that means is this is the row you're going to repeat over and over and over again until the scarf is the length that you want it to be. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to be working bean stitches, but we're going to work them into the side of the beans from the row below. So if you pull slightly, you'll see this very obvious gap. That's your little chain 1 that you secured your beans with. It leaves a nice little hole. You don't want to work into the bits in between. It's right into the side of the bean stitch. So if you pull your beans apart slightly, you'll see there's where we're going to be working our bean stitches. So into the side of the bean stitch, we're going to make a new bean stitch. So straight into that gap. That's my first bean stitch made. Then move over to the next bean from the row below and into the side of it. Work a new bean. Keep doing this into the side of your bean stitches. The side will always be in the direction that you're working in. So continue working a bean stitch into the side of each of the beans from the row below. Once you reach the final bean of the end of the row, if you pull it apart slightly, it's sort of going under the 2 loops of that chain. So you're still working to the side, but this end will be slightly fatter because of the turning chain. So just pull it apart a bit, spot that section and work your final bean into the side of that bean stitch. Don't forget to chain 1 just to close your bean. That's part of the bean stitch. So you should have the same number of beans in this second row as you did in the beginning row. For me, that was 10. So let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. I know I haven't skipped anywhere. And then that is all there is to it. So to recap, chain 1, turn your work into the side of the bean stitch from the row below, work your new bean stitch. Move across to the next bean stitch and into the side, form a new bean. Work this all the way across. Don't forget, very last bean. You may need to pull your work apart slightly to find that space because of the turning chain. So keep repeating row 2, which is this second row here, over and over and over again until your scarf is the length that you want it to be. Once you have completed your very last bean on your very last row and your scarf is the length that you want it to be, to finish, you're simply going to chain 1, cut your yarn, leaving a nice long tail for weaving in, then pull that all the way through and out, pull it tight, then grab your large eye darning needle and weave in your end. Keep weaving that end in until you have woven in a nice long length of your yarn. Once you've woven in those ends, you can snip them off. Don't forget, you'll have your end right at the start of your scarf to weave in as well. And then your scarf will be complete. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do let me know what you think about this lovely scarf down in the comments below. And until next time, happy crocheting. Bye!